going Today we are going to talk about the plasma membrane. Plasma membrane is also known as cell membrane, and it is made up of phospholipids and associated proteins. So it is made up of phospholipids. The diagram of phospholipid is here. This is your hydrophilic tail, and this is the hydrophilic head, and this is your hydrophobic tails. Hydrophobic tails means it avoid the water. So fatty acids are not soluble in polar compound. uh, are not water soluble. So phospholipids are fatty acids. This is the double layer of this is your phospholipid bilayer. Structure of cell membrane is phospholipid bilayer. This is like this way. Phospholipids are attached in the membrane. Cell membrane is made up of double layer of phospholipids, and the lipid the core of the cell membrane is the lipid. Inside there is a lipid, and very small molecular weight molecules having the low molecular weight can easily pass to the cell. So phospholipids have the low molecular weight. This is the basic structure of lipid bilayer. And the three classes of lipid molecule present in the lipid bilayer, that is your phospholipids, glycolipids and sterol. And here is the diagram of cell membrane. This is the phospholipids bilayer, phospholipid molecules. This is your hydrophilic head. This is your hydrophobic tail. Where it happened to and this is your alpha helix proteins, integral proteins, globular proteins, and this is your peripheral proteins. Cholesterols are attached to the tail region of the phospholipids. This protein channels is also protein. This is protein channel is the transport proteins. And here carrier protein is also present in this structure. Proteins are present in associated of the cell membrane so that the water soluble substance can pass through it. So there are types of phospholipids present on the outer surface of cell membrane. On the outer leaflet are phosphatidylcholine and sphingomyelin. And on the type of phospholipid which are present on the inner membrane is phosphatidyl ethanolamine and phosphatidyl serine. In the outer membrane, the proteins which are attached to the outer part of the leaflet have low carbohydrate. Inner side there is no carbohydrate and the outer side there will be carbohydrate. So the structure, their symmetry will be asymmetrical, and the proteins outer leaflet and inner leaflets are not identical. This is your peripheral proteins. Outer side it is present at peripheral protein, inner side there is a integral protein. So proteins are also not identical to each other, so its structure is asymmetry. And phospholipid molecules are mobile, and it can the concept of lateral movement, fluidity, uh, what are the factors which alter the fluidity is your temperature. Fluidity will increase if the temperature is increases, and if the cholesterol content increase, then the fluidity will decrease. And there is receptors are also present here which bind to the specific substance. And types of proteins which are present in the plasma membranes are integral proteins and peripheral proteins. This is the integral proteins, and peripheral proteins are attached on the either outside the surface or inside the membrane of plasma membrane. There is the surface protein. This is your peripheral protein. And peripheral proteins are not covalently attached, and they can be easily removed. We can easily remove the peripheral protein, but integral proteins are fixed. They cannot be removed easily. So protein content is about 50%, and 47% is lipid present in the lipid present, and 3% carbohydrate are present. And proteins can also make channels. This is, you can see the diagram here. Protein can also make the channels, protein channel, so that water can easily pass through it. This is your the plasma membrane diagram. This is your glycolipids, glycoproteins, semi-integral proteins which are present on the outer surface of plasma membrane. This is your carbohydrate radicals attached to the which protein? Attached to the peripheral proteins. This is your peripheral protein, cytoplasm, and this is your hydrophilic tails. And cytoskeleton filaments are also present here. Cytoskeleton filaments are present. And cytoskeleton filaments are the linker proteins. And this is your alpha helix proteins. This is the structure of phospholipid bilayer.